What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing? Smoky Mountain Prepper, Peggy, McGuire, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. How's it going? God's Soldiers, how's it going? Good to see everybody. Hope you guys had a good week so far. I hate to spoil your weekend, but we have major breaking news coming in this evening. Apparently, Russia is going to be doing live fire testing of missiles off the coast of California. Okay? This is absolutely insane. The news just keeps getting crazier and crazier every single day. So what you're looking at here is a NOTAM. A NOTAM is Notice to Airmen, or now they call it Notice to Air Missions. I call it Notice to Airmen. They changed it, I think, because they wanted to be gender friendly. So they said Notice to Air Missions, but really, originally it was called Notice to Airmen. And what we have here is this notice for Russian Federation plans to conduct rocket firings, and the impact area is going to be within the Oakland Air Traffic Control Oceanic Flight Information Region. Okay, so they're going to be firing missiles and rockets into the Oakland Flight Information Region. So, this is all happening really fast, so forgive me if I'm wrong about something. I'm not a pilot by any means, but I do have an understanding of, the basics. And you have what's known as a flight information region, which is not actually like our territorial airspace. The flight information region extends beyond our territorial airspace, which is 7 miles from the coast. But the flight information region is basically a zone where pilots have to identify themselves when they enter that flight information region, okay? And so it's very close to our territorial airspace, okay? Or territorial waters extend 7 miles out from the coast. So anything up to 7 miles from our coast is considered our airspace, our territorial airspace. But if you look at this picture here, you can see these dashed lines, and these dashed lines represent the different flight information regions, and you can see the one over Central and Northern California here. So apparently they're going to be launching these missiles into this flight information region here. So that could be as close as 10 miles to our shoreline. They're going to be launching missiles and rockets, okay? Very, very serious, guys. This is absolutely insane and very, very serious. So wanted to just update you guys on that. So they're not just doing it off the coast of California. They're also doing it off the coast of Scandinavia, from what I understand. So let me just show you guys the situation in Scandinavia here. So here's the one for Scandinavia. Same thing, they're going to be doing some kind of a space launch exercise off the coast of, it looks like Svalbard, so north of Scandinavia. But this is just absolutely insane, guys. Just totally crazy news here. So let me actually read to you the actual NOTAM. Before I do that, I just want to show you guys some flights here over the U.S. and Europe. So we do have a sub-hunting drone here flying in the central Mediterranean. And what's interesting about this drone is the past couple of nights we've seen it patrolling the coast of Libya. This is Libya right here. And let me see if I can just make this larger so you guys can see better. Hold on. So this is Libya. And this Northrop Grumman MQ-4C Triton is off the coast of Libya, and this thing has been patrolling this area for a long time. The last week or so, they've been up in the air here every single day. Looks like it's either going to be patrolling off the coast of Libya or going east towards Israel. And in addition to that, we had some interesting activity earlier today. We had multiple aerial refuelers and multiple recon planes off the coast of Florida. So let me show you guys that. So here's two KC-135 aerial refuelers and an AWACS plane. And in addition to that, we had also RC-135 in this area as well. So I don't know if that's related. I don't know if that's related to the test firing of the Russian missiles, but very unusual. Let me see if I have a screenshot here of the RC-135 today. Looks like I might not have it. Wanted to just quickly shout out a buddy of mine, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Check him out on YouTube. He's also on Patreon, and I just recently did a podcast with him this evening for his Patreon. He's going to put a link to his Patreon in the chat. Check him out. Show him some love. He works really hard. He does a lot of good things for the prepping community. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Check him out. He's from the upstate New York area. And we have an EAM coming in right now.
Here.
So very interesting. I don't know if we have some jamming going on or interference, but the messages have been coming in very, very faint for some reason. So let me just go through some of the super chats here. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats. I appreciate it. Jordan, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Hope you're having a good Thursday. Teresa Goner, thank you for the donation. Arnie A, thank you for the donation. Repo Joe, thank you for gifting a membership. And Delilah Carbajal, thank you so much for that donation, Delilah. I appreciate that. And Summertime Jams, wow, thanks for gifting 50 memberships. That's incredible. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. And Tron McKnight, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. Praise Almighty Jesus Christ. Preach the love. Preach the gospel of Christ far and wide. Get people saved and warn loved ones. Amen, Tron. Thank you very much for that donation. So, absolutely crazy news. So I think this is why we had the Skymaster messages last night. For those of you guys that were tuning in, we may have had another culinary incident yesterday, potentially related to probably this testing of Russian missiles off the coast of California. That's why we had that flurry of all the Skymaster messages yesterday, which was really bizarre. Very unusual flurry of Skymaster messages. Wow, look at this, guys. We got a rivet joint here. This is a RC-135 rivet joint. This is a reconnaissance plane that took off earlier from Stratcom headquarters, and it went all the way down to looks like Venezuela and Guyana, and then it turned around and came back. Look at that. That's insane, guys. So potentially there's a war about to break out in Venezuela between Venezuela and Guyana. Venezuela saying that they are the rightful owners of the Essequibo region, which is Western Guyana. And really the reason why Venezuela wants the Essequibo region is because of all the oil. Guyana just discovered a massive oil deposit, one of the largest in the world, off the coast of Guyana. They found one of the largest oil deposits in the world, and obviously Venezuela's feeling threatened about that. But we had U.S. F-18s fly over the capital of Guyana about a week ago, and then shortly after that, Venezuela started moving forces to the border of Guyana. So that's right down here. Okay, this is Guyana right here. And so basically Venezuela is saying that the entire western half of Guyana is rightfully theirs, historically theirs, and the oil deposit is right off the coast over here. Okay, this is where the oil deposit is that they found a couple of years ago. And Guyana was saying that the oil deposit here would catapult Guyana into like a oil superpower, basically, in the world. And so obviously Venezuela feels threatened about that. And so we're beefing up our presence there. But this RC-135 going down to Venezuela is pretty concerning. So just noticed that right now, actually. Let me just read to you guys this NOTAM for California with these missile firings or rocket launches, whatever they're going to be doing. It's just absolutely insane. But now we know why all those Skymaster messages were broadcasted yesterday evening, probably because of, those tests that were about to begin today. I think they're supposed to begin today and last for like 2 weeks. So, very serious situation. Let me see if I can show you guys. So this is the actual NOTAM here. And you can find it for yourself. Okay, Defense Internet NOTAM Service. And if you scroll down here, it says, let's see, where is it? It says here, attention aircraft operators and dispatchers. This notice is for all aircraft transiting from Hawaii to North America and North America to Hawaii. The following restrictions are due to the Russian Federation rocket firing impact area. And they have all this data here that I don't understand because I'm not a pilot. They have like a boundary that they describe where they're going to be shooting these rockets into, but they're going to be shooting them into the Oakland Air Traffic Control Flight Information Region, apparently. So this is huge news, guys. They have the boundary here. Let's see what else. More notices for aircraft transiting from Hawaii to North America. Let's see what else. It says here, the Russian Federation plans to conduct rocket firings, impact area within the Oakland Air Traffic Control Oceanic Flight Information Region. Okay, it doesn't get more clear than that. Impact area within the Oakland Air Traffic Control Oceanic Flight Information Region. Okay, and it says here is within an area defined as 29.5 degrees north, 128, looks like 128.5 degrees west to 29.2 degrees north and 126 degrees west to 23.5 degrees north, 128.1 degrees west to 24.2 degrees north, 130.2 degrees west to the point of origin. So this is crazy, guys. This is absolutely insane. I wonder if I can put these coordinates into Google Earth. I'd like to see better exactly where the impact area is going to be, but they're saying within the Oakland Air Traffic Control Flight Information Region is where these rockets, okay, they're saying rockets, but these are missiles, okay? They're testing some type of missiles, sea-based missiles, and they're firing them literally towards our shoreline, okay? This is very serious, guys. Could you imagine if the U.S. parked a bunch of warships, let's say with Tomahawk missiles, right off the coast of Russia somewhere, and we said, okay, we're going to launch Tomahawk missiles just 10 miles off your coast, but you don't have to worry because it's not in your territorial waters and territorial airspace, but it's going to be right outside of that. I mean, that is very, very provocative, guys. That is insane. Okay, so tensions are escalating between Russia and the U.S. They're doing these rocket or missile launches towards California within the flight information region of Oakland. Okay, this is very, very serious, guys. Very serious. You know, this kind of reminds me of the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's very similar to the Cuban Missile Crisis, you know. When they put the missiles in Cuba, it's very similar to that. It says here, avoid the airspace NOTAMed for Russian Federation impact area by at least 50 nautical miles. Okay, so they're telling airmen to avoid the impact zone by 50 nautical miles. That is insane, guys. They want you to stay 50 nautical miles away from this area, okay? So this is just totally insane. Absolutely crazy, guys. And I think it goes through the 29th, if I'm not mistaken. It's supposed to start today or tomorrow, and it's going to go all the way through the 29th is what I think, or 26th. Let me see. Yeah, it says here for flight safety, air traffic control will not clear the IFR through the impact area. It says it's going to be daily from 20 to 2300 hours starting May 16th at 20:00 hours through the 26th of May through 2300 hours. Okay, so that it actually started tonight then. If they're saying 20:00 hours on the 16th, I don't know if that's UTC time. I'm assuming that means it already started this week or this evening, and it's going to last the rest of this week through Memorial Day, basically, for 10 days through the 26th at 2300 hours. I mean, this is just absolutely insane, guys. So you need to be prepared, okay? You need to get prepared. I was just talking with Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival about nuclear war, and we were talking about that in the podcast on his Patreon. The link to his podcast is in the top of the chat. Okay, check out his Patreon. He's going to be posting that sometime soon. But we talked about nuclear war, and you know, a lot of people think it could never happen. But you know, the Bible says that there's going to be nuclear war. Okay, it doesn't specifically say that, yeah, there's going to be nuclear war, but the Bible uses different terminology for nuclear war. But this is very, very serious, guys. Let's see, what else does it say here? This is all coming in this evening, so... Wow, absolutely insane. Wow. I'm going to see if I can punch these coordinates into Google Earth. But, you know, this is very, very serious. Absolutely insane. So we're going to be covering this tonight and monitoring the emergency action messages. I'm going to be monitoring this event the next couple of days. This is extremely serious, guys. I'm going to see if I can punch this into Google Earth. I want to see the impact area. Before I do that, let me just share some other news with you guys. You know, this is just totally insane. Totally insane, guys. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely insane. This is huge news, guys, okay? Let me just check some other stuff here I want to share with you. So we have some breaking news coming in from Ukraine. Apparently, the U.S. is going to be sending instructors to train the Ukrainian military directly on the front lines. This was stated by General Brown, the head of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff. And apparently, so he said that Washington and NATO is considering the possibility of sending instructors to train the Ukrainian military directly on the front lines. The U.S. general noted that there is a need to train 150,000 military personnel on the territory of Ukraine. Okay, so they're going to be sending instructors, quote unquote instructors, to the front line in Ukraine to train the Ukrainian military directly. I mean, that is just very suspicious. And Ukraine is preparing for a possible Russian offensive in the next few weeks, according to Reuters. Russian troops are increasing their presence near the border with Sumy region. The Ukrainian military plans to defend Kharkiv Oblast and Sumy Oblast, hoping to stop a possible offensive, thus protecting the cities from artillery fire and possibly retreating the enemy back to the border. Okay, so this is very concerning. Russia is planning to go into the Sumy Oblast, which is just next to Kharkiv. Kharkiv is the second largest city in Ukraine. There's a lot of Russian people there. And what Russia's trying to do is get within artillery range of Kharkiv. They don't necessarily have to take the whole city. They may try if they have an opportunity. But all they have to do is get within a couple of miles of Kharkiv, and then they can just start pounding Kharkiv with artillery like they did in the beginning of the war before the Ukrainians drove them out. But that's what Russia's trying to do. They're trying to get close to Kharkiv and pound it with artillery and make it basically uninhabitable and slowly drive the Ukrainians out of their own city by just pounding them with artillery constantly. So Summertime Jams, thank you for the 50 membership donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Lee Billy, thanks for gifting 50 memberships. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it, bro. Really appreciate all your support. You're a real good friend. What's going on, Cats 1964? Good to see you. Yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and share this with your friends and family. Share it on your social media. What's going on, NYPrepper, Samantha Gross? How's it going? Michael Gale, good to see you. Yeah, please talk with your family about what to do when the phones don't work, when cell phones go down, when electricity goes down, because it could happen very, very soon. So make sure you have a communications plan. Make sure you have rendezvous points so you can meet up with your family. If you get separated, if let's say your family members are at work and the grid goes down while they're at work or something, or you have kids in college and they're in college when the grid goes down, what's your plan? How are you going to protect them? How are you going to link up with them? What's your plan? Think about it. Because something could happen very, very soon. We have an update on the situation in Ukraine from the Institute for the Study of War. Now, I want to remind you guys, the Institute for the Study of War is very close to like mainstream media when it comes to analyzing the situation in Ukraine. So they're kind of painting a more rosy picture of what's going on in Kharkiv. But let me read to you what the Institute for the Study of War said. They said Ukrainian officials reported that Ukrainian forces are stabilizing the situation along the northern border in Kharkiv Oblast, and that the tempo of the Russian offensive in the area continues to decrease. Russian fixed-wing aircraft have increasingly targeted Kharkiv city and its surroundings with glide bombs and various missile strikes in recent weeks to degrade Ukrainian defenses and prompt residents to flee the city. Sufficient air defense coverage in the Kharkiv city area would allow Ukrainian forces to constrain Russian aviation operations, but only if Western countries permitted Ukraine to use the systems to intercept Russian aircraft in Russian airspace, since Russian aircraft can strike Kharkiv city without ever leaving Russian airspace. So that's the key. And a lot of unconfirmed reports came out yesterday that when our Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, visited Ukraine a couple days ago, that he green-lighted Ukraine to use American weapons inside of Russian airspace and inside of Russia to strike into Russian territory with American weapons. I don't know if that's only certain types of American weapons, like missile defenses, like let's say Ukraine is allowed to shoot down Russian fighter jets with American equipment that, if they're flying in Russia close to Ukraine's borders, then they're allowed to shoot down the jets, but they're not allowed to maybe use ATACMS to strike Russian territory. I don't know. But there are rumors floating around that Blinken green-lighted Ukraine to use American weapons at Russia or in Russia. Okay. So things are really spiraling out of control, guys. Get prepared. Prepare your soul. I talk a lot about preparing for SHTF, making sure you have a bug out bag, making sure you have firearms and water and food and a survival plan for, whatever nuclear war, but you have to prepare your soul as well, okay? Because, if things really escalate, we could be meeting our maker very soon, and your soul has to be right, otherwise you're going to go to hell. I don't know how else to say that, but you have to get your soul right and, make sure that, everything is squared away over there as well. Because when Jesus returns, it's going to be too late to suddenly repent and suddenly, beg for forgiveness. You have to start doing that now and start repenting of your sins and, trying to minimize the amount of sin, in your life. So Keystone Preparedness, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We got to meet up sometime this summer. Maybe we'll do a Bigfoot trip or something. Country Christian, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the donation. You are doing a great job, my dear friend. Super proud of you. God bless all you do. Texted you back, by the way. Thank you, Country Christian. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. I wish I was home. Thanks for the donation. I got unsubbed from the channel by YouTube. Yeah, there were a few people today that complained that YouTube unsubscribed them for some reason. I don't know why that happened, but There were several people that complained about that. So I know that what YouTube does periodically is if there's like a channel that you don't watch often, and I'm not accusing you of not watching me, I'm just saying I know that what YouTube does is periodically they'll unsubscribe people that are not like actively watching a certain channel regularly, and they do that to prevent like spammers from subscribing to channels, and they're not really like there to watch the channel. They're just subscribing for the purposes of spamming or something. I don't know, but that's what YouTube claims. I'm not defending YouTube or anything. I'm just saying that's what it could be related to that. I don't know. Steve Lane, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Hope you're doing well. Benjamin Duckworth, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good night. And we also have breaking news coming from Russian news, RT, Russia Today. They're claiming that the Egyptian army is preparing for war against Israel. Okay, so take this with a grain of salt. It's coming from RT, Russia Today. Usually they're pretty accurate, even though they're like, obviously they're pro-Russian because they're a Russian, government-funded media, but they're usually pretty accurate, even though they do post a lot of propaganda stuff, but they're usually pretty accurate. They're citing a retired Israeli army lieutenant colonel saying that the Egyptian army is preparing for war against Israel. Now, yesterday, I reported that the Egyptians have moved military equipment to the Sinai Peninsula for the first time in decades, and this military equipment is actually banned under the Camp David agreements that Israel had with Egypt. I think that was after the Yom Kippur War. I can't remember which war they signed that agreement with Egypt with, but I think it was after Yom Kippur War. But there's an agreement between Egypt and Israel basically stating that Egypt would not move certain types of weapons and mass forces in the Sinai Peninsula. Okay? Now Egypt is massing forces there, including weapons that are banned under this agreement that they have with Israel. And now we have RT citing a retired Israeli army lieutenant colonel saying that the Egyptian army is preparing for war against Israel. You remember like last year when the whole situation in Gaza first broke out, there was some video footage that emerged of the Egyptian army doing these big exercises. I don't know if you guys remember that. I showed it on my channel when all that stuff was happening. I showed you guys video footage of these like snap exercises that the Egyptian president ordered as soon as it was becoming known that Israel was about to go into Gaza. This was like right after the October 7 attack. Okay, literally like a couple days after, Egypt put their military on high alert, and they did these snap exercises with like hundreds of tanks. So, Egypt could potentially attack Israel now. They've been warning Israel for a while that if Israel goes into Rafah, then it could spark a war between them, okay? Because there's a lot of people that live in Rafah. It's not like a little town. There's like millions of people there. And when Israel goes into Rafah, you're going to have a massive flood of refugees, and they're probably going to try to go into Egypt. And Egypt doesn't want all those terrorists, and then obviously Egypt is, Muslim, kind of like a Muslim country. So they see it as Jewish imperialism against their Muslim brothers. And so this could go sideways very quickly over there. So we have to keep an eye on that and see what happens with Egypt. Aaron Worley, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate it. So, And Zelensky stressed in an interview with ABC News today that the situation in the Kharkiv direction is very serious and that Ukrainian forces cannot afford to lose Kharkiv city. So, very serious. This is coming from the president of Ukraine himself. Okay, we have Western media saying, oh, it's not a big deal. You know, Russia's just going into Kharkiv because they want to put pressure on the Ukrainian forces so they divert their forces away from the southern part of Ukraine or the eastern part of Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. Well, the president of Ukraine himself is saying that it's a very serious situation and that Ukraine cannot afford to lose Kharkiv. Okay, so obviously the president of Ukraine is concerned about it, and he has already canceled all of his foreign appearances and all public appearances and stuff. He's basically in his bunker now, probably commanding the war effort because Russia is literally just a few miles outside of their second largest city. Zelensky argued that Russia will not be able to seize Kharkiv city if Ukrainian forces receive 2 Patriot air defense systems to deploy in the area. All right, so this is something that the Western media is not going to tell you about because they want you to think that everything is going good, that Ukraine is winning. How is Ukraine winning? They're losing, okay? They're losing bad, but Western media doesn't want you to know that. But that's the reality of the situation. It sucks, but that's just the reality. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, but that's just the truth. Ukraine is not winning. They're losing. And, it's a dire situation right now in Ukraine. Ukraine is, all their front lines are on the verge of collapsing. I mean, Russia is basically in the position now where they can advance anywhere they want. Okay, the Ukrainians have been weakened so much that the Russians can just penetrate anywhere, basically. Okay, they have not committed their actual assault elements yet. They're still probing the front lines and seeing where Ukraine is weakest, and then they're going to commit their forces there and try to make a big breakthrough. Okay, we'll see what happens. I hope I'm wrong, I'm not cheering for Russia or anything, but, that's just the reality of the situation. NATO is not going to tell you the truth of what's going on. They want to prevent panic, just like right before the war started. Zelensky himself didn't even tell Ukrainians that Russia was going to invade until like a week before the invasion started. Meanwhile, they knew like probably at least a month or two in advance, maybe longer, but they kept it secret from their people, from the Ukrainians, because they didn't want Ukrainians to panic and flee. But eventually he did have to tell the people, and by then it was too late. It was just a few days before the invasion started. So, they're not going to tell us about anything until it's just absolutely too late. So just keep that in mind. Samantha Gross, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hope you're having a good day. So this is a very serious situation, guys. We have Russia planning to test rockets and missiles off of California. This is absolutely insane. Check this out. We got another Stratotanker here off the coast of Tampa this evening. I mean, this is probably like the fifth or sixth aerial refueler off the coast of Tampa today. Okay, we had an AWACS, we had a recon plane, we had several aerial refuelers here. So something's brewing in the Gulf of Mexico. Check this out. We have a nuclear war command and control plane flying over California right now. It was just over southern Oregon. Okay, check that out. So let me see if I can punch these coordinates into the Google Earth. I want to see this impact area. I want to see want to see where they're shooting these missiles into, but this is very, very serious, guys. Very serious situation. See here. Thank you again, Samantha. Samantha Gross, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. What's going on, Blue Angel? How's it going? What's going on in Washington State? Speaking of Washington State, a lot of you guys are probably unaware that Washington State has the largest nuclear warhead storage site in the country. That's where we store our Trident missiles and the associated warheads, the W-88 warhead. So the Trident missiles and the W-88 warheads are stored in Bangor Kitsap in Washington State. Then there's also Kirkland Air Base in New Mexico, but Kirkland is just old warheads. But Washington has the largest storage site in the country, so it's a major nuclear war target. Okay, if you live in Seattle, you're very close to the Bangor Kitsap area. Yes, I am aware of Score 47. Yep. I'm not too concerned about Score 47. They always fly out here, and I think it's related to the SpaceX rocket launches. They launch a lot of rockets here from Wallops Island. Wallops Island is similar to like Cape Canaveral. Let me show you where Wallops Island is right here. You see Wallops Island? They launch all the SpaceX rockets from Wallops Island. Let me see if I think this might be the is that the launch pad? No, yeah, this looks like the launch pad, or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, Wallops Island. It's like another Cape Canaveral, so I'm not too worried about it. They usually fly here a lot. So I think this is related to a rocket launch. They're constantly launching rockets there, so I'm not super concerned about that. But thanks for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just had a cup of coffee before I started the stream because I knew it was going to be a crazy night. So something big is brewing, guys. Something big is brewing. Get prepared. Serena Smith, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. Someone said they live next to Cape Canaveral. What's going on, Tiffany? How's it going? Peter says that's why I married a woman that can cook. That's funny. John C. says big pot of coffee brewing. Giselle Rodriguez says I'm 20 minutes from MacDill Air Force Base and there's been lots of movement. Yeah, I just looked at Score 47. I just talked about Score 47. I'm not concerned about it because that's right next to Wallops Island. They test a lot of rockets there. So I think it's related to that. They always fly those over there. Let me see if I can punch these coordinates into Google Earth so I can show you where Russia's going to be sending these missiles. One moment while I do that. Let me see here. This is interesting. It looks like they're going to be launching these missiles off the coast of Baja California also. It's interesting. Looks like possibly off of Baja California. Let me see. Based on these coordinates here. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can share this with you guys. What I'm doing here. I'm going to try to put these coordinates in. Got 29.5. And let's see. 29.5. And 5 minutes. And then we got, let's see, we got 128.52. $52 minutes and 0 seconds. We got one right there. Let me put another one up here. $29 and 2 minutes or 21 minutes. I don't know if I'm doing this right. I think I am. And then we got, let's see, 126 degrees and 46 minutes. So this is all breaking this evening, guys. This is all coming in this evening. Huge news. Absolutely huge. Okay. I think that's right. And then we got another one here. We got 23 degrees north, 53 minutes. Or maybe that's 5 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know. Interesting. Looks like it's off the coast of Baja California, this one. (128 degrees north). So this is probably why we heard those Skymaster messages last night. This is why. Now we know why. Okay. Almost done. We got one more set of coordinates here. 24 degrees. Sorry I didn't get a chance to do this sooner, guys. This all just came in not too long ago, so sorry about that. Interesting. Got 130 degrees west. 130 degrees west. 24 minutes. Okay. 130 degrees, 24 minutes. Interesting. So this is the area here. According to this one NOTAM, this is the area that Russia is going to be apparently firing missiles into, but that doesn't explain the Oakland FIR. Maybe I need some different coordinates for that one. Aldo says eventually Putin is going to get his ASS kicked. He needs a lesson. My 2 cents. Yeah, Putin thinks he's invincible. And, he's very arrogant. He thinks he can do whatever he wants. He knows that the U.S. is run by a 80-plus-year-old man who doesn't remember where he is sometimes and stumbles all the time. One of the things I was talking about with Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival is something that should concern us all, is that Biden, he could potentially forget the nuclear codes, and Russia knows that. You have to be cognitively sharp in order to be able to respond in a nuclear escalation, okay? If Russia decides to suddenly lob 1,000 warheads at us, I mean, the president is going to have 5 minutes to decide what strike options to do, and he's got to authenticate himself before he orders the launch. In the U.S., only the president can order a nuclear strike. Okay, only the president, not anybody else. And the president has to authenticate himself when he picks up the phone to call the Defense Department. Okay, the way that it works is the president would have a special phone in the nuclear football, which there's a guy who carries the nuclear football around. He follows the president every single day. And the nuclear football is like a rugged laptop, essentially. And in that laptop, there's a phone. There's also folders with different strike options. And the president literally has 5 minutes to decide on the strike option and to order the launch. Okay, Biden stumbles when he speaks, at campaign fundraisers and stuff and public appearances. How is he going to manage a crisis situation when he's under pressure to make a decision and to order the launch very quickly? Okay, I'm not saying he can't do it, but the thing is Russia may calculate, okay, if we launch a big surprise attack on America, maybe there's a chance that because Biden is so old, that maybe the response is going to be slower, or it may not happen at all because he's going to forget the launch codes, or he's going to stumble and make mistakes or whatever. Every day, the president, when he wakes up in the morning, he's given a nuclear code, multiple nuclear codes on a credit card sized card. It's like a little card, and there's multiple codes. They're called the gold codes. Okay, so there's multiple codes on this card. It's like a credit card, and the president carries this with him every single day. And in the event of a nuclear war, he has to memorize which code is the proper code out of all of those codes. Okay, so it's not like the card, it's not like a credit card where you have the credit card and then you have your credit card number and boom, there you go. You place your order on Amazon, you put your credit card number in. It doesn't work that way. Imagine if you have a credit card that has not one credit card number on it, but you have, let's say, 10 credit card numbers. And out of those 10 credit card numbers, before you place your order on Amazon, you have to remember which one of those 10 numbers on your credit card is the proper number. Okay, and the reason why is, let's say you drop your credit card at a gas station, you're pumping your gas and you accidentally drop your credit card. Next guy comes, picks it up and says, oh wow, maybe I'll swipe this card and get some gas, and so he has multiple codes on this card, and the president has to remember every day it's a different set of codes every single day. They're constantly changing the codes every day, and out of all the numbers on the card, only one of them is the proper code. Okay, and like I said, that's if, let's say, something were to happen to Biden, okay, for whatever reason, let's say he drops that on the ground, or let's say whatever, somebody tries to force him to launch. Let's say they take him captive or something and they try to force him to launch. It's not like there's just one number there that they can just, oh yeah, this is the number. So he has to remember the proper number, otherwise he can't authenticate. And maybe the Russians will calculate, okay, maybe we'll take our chance. So very serious situation. So this apparently is one of the areas where Russia is going to be launching missiles into over the next 10 days, starting tonight through the 26th. This area right here, according to one of the NOTAMs. Let me see if I can't check some other NOTAMs for you, and let's see if let's just look at some of the other NOTAMs here. Let's see. Okay, so let me see. Did I put the right coordinates in? Let me just check something here. Yeah, I put the right coordinates in. And then they provide some temporary routes for airplanes for pilots. They have temporary routes here. see if there's any other coordinates here. It only gives this one set of coordinates here off the coast of Baja California, but that's really strange. Yeah, it looks like in this picture here is the set of coordinates that I just mapped out right here. This red box, I guess that's the area where they're going to be launching the rockets into, apparently. But that seems a little bit far for the Oakland Flight Information Region. The Oakland Flight Information Region is all the way up top there. So I don't know why they would say Oakland Air Traffic Control Oceanic Flight Information Region. I mean, this is somewhere totally different. So very strange. I'm a little bit confused by this. But very strange situation. Let me just check some flights here. Let's just check some flights real quick, see what's going on here tonight. Biden may lose his biscuit before he could even use it, and he is probably not cognizant enough at this point to realize you don't eat it like ice cream. Yeah, the biscuit is that card. The biscuit is the card that all the nuclear codes are printed on every day. It's called the biscuit. What's the code? He says Choco Chip. That's funny. The Oakland ARTC area includes the entire Pacific Ocean. Interesting. We also heard yesterday that apparently Canada did a nationwide emergency alert system test. So that's pretty suspicious. Mama D, thank you for the donation. Genius tactic. Tell the U.S. it's coming in the form of quote-unquote tests, then overshoot your projected target. By the time we realize it's an overshoot, it's too late. Yep, exactly. That's a very good point. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be launching ballistic missiles from their subs. If they're doing that, then that's very concerning. If they're going to be launching some of their new Bulava missiles, I mean, that's crazy. That's just insane. I mean, it's possible they're going to be, we don't know what kind of missiles they're testing. It could be, sounds like subs. That's what it sounds like to me, like they're going to be using subs. And it sounds to me, based on now that I've kind of analyzed this, it sounds to me like they're going to be launching ballistic missiles from their subs, and the subs may be further away, like somewhere, near Russia somewhere, and they're going to launch ballistic missiles potentially from, let's say, somewhere close to Russia or in the Pacific, and the ballistic missiles are going to land off the coast of California. I mean, that is just like absolutely crazy, guys. I mean, because they can disguise a real missile attack that way, like Mama D was saying, and it's going to stress our nuclear forces, because our nuclear forces are going to be on high alert trying to monitor that, and it's just like a giant distraction for them trying to monitor that whole situation. So, I mean, this is crazy, guys. I mean, we don't know exactly what kind of rockets are going to be launched, but very, very provocative situation here. Russia launching missiles towards California, and then potentially also near Scandinavia. They're showing an impact area for Russian missiles, okay? Impact area for Russian missiles from daily from 2000 hours to 2300 hours from May the 16th to May the 26th. Yeah, so this is going to be 1600 to 1900 Eastern time. Okay, so from 4 o'clock Eastern time until 7 o'clock Eastern time every single day starting today already through the 26th. They're going to be launching missiles somewhere in off the coast of Scandinavia. Okay, so let me just maximize this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, it says here impact area for missiles, this yellow box here. It says exercises scheduled surface and above May 16th from 1600 hours to 1900 hours daily Eastern time through May the 26th. So the next 10 days. That is just insane, guys. Wow. Absolutely insane. Let's do some missile tests in the Black Sea. Yeah, we should. That would be cool. Or we should do some tests off the coast of Murmansk, where Russia has their northern fleet. Saturn Z's, thank you for the donation. The world is made up of 70% water, and they choose to launch there. They also said they weren't going to invade Ukraine. Exactly, right. Serena Smith, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it, and thanks for the kind words. I really appreciate the kind words. Right, and now Belarus is preparing their railways to receive military cargo trains from Russia. Okay, lots of stuff going on in Belarus now. If you missed my update earlier, I recommend you watch it, but also, Russia tested a space-based anti-satellite weapon with potentially nuclear capabilities in 2022, according to the Wall Street Journal. So apparently this nuclear-capable Russian satellite is now orbiting the Earth. It's called Cosmos 2553. It was launched in February of 2022 and has been orbiting Earth since then. In my opinion, they launched that satellite right before they launched their invasion into Ukraine. And in my opinion, that's sort of like a doomsday weapon that they put up into space. And they wanted to put it up there before they started their war. Just in case things escalated, they wanted to make sure they had that satellite up there in place before they started their war. One thing about these satellites is... and remember, like 3 months ago, there was all this panic that Russia put nukes into space. I personally believe they have nukes in space. I believe that this satellite, the Cosmos 2553, that Russia put into orbit in February of 2022, right before they started the war, I believe it has nuclear warheads on it. I really do. And why would you put nuclear warheads in space? Well, it eliminates the warning time. Okay, normally when there's a nuclear war, you can detect your enemy's missiles being launched because they have a huge thermal signature which can be seen from space. As soon as the missile launches, they can see the heat plume. In addition, the radars, the long-range radars, can pick up the missile going up into space. And so that gives us a warning time up to 30 minutes with land-based missiles and 15 minutes for submarine-launched ballistic missiles. So we have 15 to 30 minutes to respond, okay, which means scrambling our bombers into the air so they don't get destroyed launching all of our missiles from our silos before they get hit, and then moving all of our submarines out of port and moving all of our ships out of port before they get hit, okay? And obviously the president has time to order a counterstrike, but if there's nukes in space, the warning time is cut down to like minutes, like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because literally NORAD would just detect the warhead as it re-enters the atmosphere. And once it re-enters the atmosphere, you're talking maybe 5 or 10 minutes at the most. So that would give Russia a potential first strike capability on our decision-making centers, okay, like Washington, D.C. By the time the president would be scrambled into a bunker, the warheads would already be landing, okay? So that could be Russia's ace in the hole, is this satellite with nuclear warheads on it, potentially Putin's trick up his sleeve. Richard Vasquez says, "We're at war, guys. Our senior citizen president doesn't know that yet." Diva's mom, good to see you, Diva's mom. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. The ones we have in outer space were definitely put there by SpaceX. You know, it's possible that we have nukes in space too. You know that weird plane, the X-37B, the weird plane that orbits the Earth. I mean, what if that thing has nukes on it? You know, it has a classified payload. What if that's a space-based nuclear bomber? I mean, that's very possible, you know. Let me just show you guys the latest situation here on the front lines in Ukraine. See if I can share that with you. So far, they haven't really updated the maps, but from what I'm understanding, there's heavy fighting going on the outskirts of Kharkiv. So here's the city of Kharkiv, second largest city in Ukraine. And then literally just 15 miles to the north, you have the Russians penetrating the border here. They've taken all these critical areas here. Okay, Lukiansky and Hlaiboki, Morakovets. And there's a highway that goes right down into Kharkiv from this area. You see this road right here? This road goes all the way up to where the Russians are. Okay, so the Russians could just come straight down into the city, but they don't have to go into the city. They can just literally occupy this area here, right outside of the city, and then just pound it with artillery, make it uninhabitable, basically, rather than going into the city itself. And then here's the other area where the Russians are fighting the Ukrainians here. In Vovchansk, the map hasn't updated, but I think the Russians have already taken Vovchansk. There is some video footage showing the city. Let me see if I can share that with you. There is some footage of the city. Apparently there was a partial blackout in the Russian city of Sevastopol as debris from intercepted Ukrainian drones fell on a power substation, Governor Mikhail Razvozyahev said. Earlier in the day, Russian air defenses repelled a drone attack on Sevastopol and several Ukrainian drones were destroyed. A partial blackout was caused by the shutdown of some equipment at the substation Sevastopol. The debris from downed UAVs crashed on the substation. Emergency services will begin restoring power. So there's a partial blackout in Sevastopol. We have some breaking news coming out of Houston. There were some tornadoes in the Houston area. Thousands of people are without power. We have some high voltage transmission lines that were taken down. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen here. We do have some high voltage lines that went down. We do have some breaking news coming in. Apparently there's a massive Ukrainian drone attack underway right now in the Russian port city of Novorossiysk. Apparently Ukrainian drones from the sea and the air are attacking the Russian port of Novorossiysk. Now, if you remember, Ukraine moved a lot of their navy to Novorossiysk after Ukraine was sinking a lot of their ships in Crimea and Sevastopol. So they moved a lot of their ships to Novorossiysk. Well, it looks like the Ukrainians are now pounding Novorossiysk with drones from the sea and from the air. Okay, so this is very, very serious. If I can get some footage here for you guys. One moment. So try to get some footage. Try to get some footage for you guys. What's going on, Rodney Middleton? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Ross Niderman, good to see you. Pamela says, I tried telling my sisters and brother, they think I'm nuts. Yeah, for sure. Most people are going to think you're crazy if you tell them that you think nuclear war is going to happen. Yeah, they're going to try to tell you that you're nuts. But you can't listen to them. You know, you just have to trust. You have to trust what your instincts say. Daniel, yeah, I know about score 47. I'm not too concerned about score 47. They always fly there. I'm not worried about it. See, we got some footage here. So this is coming out of Novorossiysk. The Ukrainians are hitting this important port city with naval and air drones. R. Williams, thank you for the donation. Is it true that you guys can barely hear me? Someone said they can barely hear me. Okay, loud and clear. Okay, thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Man, maybe you just need to turn your volume up a little more. Maybe your volume is off, but thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We just had a emergency action message, some communications going on. Let me see if I can get...
Last caller. This is Mainsail. Mainsail. I have you at Lima Charlie. Howley. Over. Mainsail. Raider 62 as you 555. Request contact. Raider 55. This is Mainsail. Mainsail. Please stand by for QSY. Over.
You guys hear that noise? It sounds like aliens. Sounds like aliens in the background. You hear that? It's very weird. Listen. Just sounded like aliens were talking in the background. It's very weird. So, yeah, we have Ukraine pounding Novorossiysk. Check it out, guys. This is a major port. We have a B-1 bomber in South Dakota. Wow. Really strange. Really strange for there to be a B-1 up in the air now. That's pretty strange. Yeah, we do have this B-1. Wow, B-1 bomber flying north of the Black Hills. It's pretty unusual for this late at night to have a B-1 up in the air. Wow, and it's moving fast too. Look at that. It's moving fast. It could be flying supersonic right now. These are supersonic bombers, so let me see if I can actually get more details. Um, it's flying at 480 knots, so that doesn't seem too fast. Altitude 20,000 feet. Very interesting to have a bomber up in the air this late. Very strange. Do have some test counts going on here. It's pretty interesting. So we have major breaking news coming in tonight from Russia. In Novorossiysk, looks like the Ukrainians hit this important port city, Novorossiysk, with air and sea-based drones. Apparently the eyewitness in this video is yelling, "They blew up the port, they blew up the port." That's what the eyewitness is claiming. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, King Crab last night was interesting. He stuttered and stumbled when he was reading that one EAM, which is pretty unusual for the guys that read the EAMs. They usually never stutter or stumble. Ross Niederman says it's flying really fast. Rand says one emergency test in Canada was to do with the payload NYP had a week ago. The other to do with the fires in the West now happening again. You know, here in Pennsylvania last week we had a emergency alert system test statewide. And I've lived here almost 3 years and I've never heard an emergency alert system test here. I had it on my phone. They sent an alert on my phone at like 7:34 in the morning. I got an alert saying that this was just a test. Pennsylvania never does that. I've never had one on my phone before since living here. So apparently it was for all people in Pennsylvania. Speaking of Twitter, Twitter reinstated my account. So you guys can follow me on Twitter or you can follow me on Telegram. I don't know how much I'm going to be posting to Twitter. I do post all my updates to Telegram. I might still do it to Twitter. I don't know if that's one of the reasons why they suspended my account. I'm not too sure. But let me see. I have some footage here coming out of Kharkiv Oblast. Some aerial footage coming out of Kharkiv and the battles going on. Let me see if I can share that with you guys. One moment here. Really intense battles going on in Kharkiv. Very, very intense battles. We have some more pictures coming out of the Baltics. The French soldiers practicing in urban combat. Let me see if I can share some pictures of that with you guys. This is coming from the Spring Storm exercise practicing urban and forest combat in Estonia. Okay. I mean, it just looks pretty obvious like they're training to fight in Ukraine. That's what it looks like to me, but, you know, I could be wrong. Here we have some video footage. Let me see if I can share. Wow, lots of good footage here. I'm going to share some of this from the German training in Lithuania with the urban combat drills in Lithuania, right on the border of Belarus. We still have emergency power outages ongoing in Ukraine. They're shutting down the power in Ukraine every night for several hours because they ran out of electricity there, because they got hit so much by missiles, Russian missiles. Donna Wallers, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Peter Vincent Pry is actually dead. He passed away. Cold War Prepper says Novorossiysk is the headquarters for the Baltic Fleet. No, I think you made a mistake, Cold War. Novorossiysk is, you're thinking of Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad, Baltisk is where the Baltic Fleet is headquartered. Novorossiysk is one of the Black Sea Fleet locations. I think you might have had a brain fart. But Donna Wallers, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Julie Bratcher, thank you for gifting 50 memberships. Thank you very much. Good to see you again, Julie. Hope you're having a good Thursday night, Thirsty Thursday. So let me see if I can share some footage here. One moment. There's a state of emergency in New Caledonia, which is the French Republic or French territory in the South Pacific. We have like French special forces there. Looks like Ukraine last night launched a drone strike on the production facilities of one of the Russian defense contractors in Tula. There was a drone strike in Tula. Very interesting. Russia apparently expelled the British military attaché from Moscow as a retaliatory measure for Britain expelling the Russian military attachés like 2 weeks ago. The Russians are saying that the British military attaché must leave Russia within a week. Okay? Very, very serious, guys. Okay? Britain expelling the Russian attaché, and now Russia expelling the British attaché. All right? That is a huge sign that we are heading towards nuclear war with Russia. Okay? This is very, very serious, guys. Extremely serious situation. Let me see if I can share some footage with you guys. One moment. To try to share some footage. We got a lot of good footage here. Let's see. So these are the French troops training in urban combat. Let me blow this up on the screen so you can see it better. These are the French troops training in urban combat in Estonia. Look at that. I mean, they're training to go to Ukraine, guys. That's what this is. They're training to go to Ukraine. Okay, we know that France said that they were going to send troops into Ukraine. Well, now they're training for it. Here's another picture of them training in the forest. Okay. Wow, Julie Bratcher, thank you so much for all the donations. I really appreciate it. Super kind of you. Hope you're having a good Thursday. Y'all need to get ready to meet Jesus. God bless y'all. Thank you so much, Julie. Yeah, we have to prepare our souls to meet Jesus Christ. It's very important. What's going on, Duramax News? How's it going? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. The B1 is about to go dark. Good to see you, Duramax News. Some kind of a Pegasus aerial refueler in Nebraska. Interesting. Maybe it's going to refuel the B1. Tula is an arms and ammo plant. Yeah, I'm sure there's multiple plants there. I know that there's an ammo plant there. But let me see if I can share some footage with you guys here. So here we have footage coming from Kharkiv. Okay, this is the latest footage coming from Kharkiv. Okay, and as you can see, the whole city is in ruins here. Look at that. All the strikes, the Russian strikes on Kharkiv. So regardless of what the Western media is saying, Ukraine is... Or not Kharkiv, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Not Kharkiv. This is Vovchansk. Vovchansk is that critical town in northern Kharkiv. Okay, this is Vovchansk, not Kharkiv. I'm sorry, this is in the Kharkiv region, but it's north of Kharkiv. And, you know, Ukraine is saying that they're able to hold off the Russians here, but it doesn't look like it to me. It looks like the Russians are systematically destroying the town, which is their tactic, basically. You know, they just shell the crap out of these towns, and then they go in and occupy the ruins. That's their tactic, you know. But I think that Russia's probably already taken Vovchansk, and once they take Vovchansk, they're going to be able to move further down, because it's the largest town in that area. Here's some footage. Here's some footage coming from, this was posted by the Ukrainian military. Let me see if I can play this for you guys. So this is the Ukrainian military going street by street, defending Vovchansk. Okay, this is in Vovchansk. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Does it look like Ukraine is winning? Doesn't look like it to me. Okay, the Western media is lying. They want you to think that Ukraine is constantly winning all the time. They never lose. That type of thinking is dangerous, you know. It's dangerous because it gives you a false sense of security. So this is in Vovchansk right now. This is what it looks like over there. Looks like they're launching some grenades here. Looks like a grenade launcher. Wow, Steven Anosenyo. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Steve Anosenyo, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it. That's really nice of you. Thank you so much, bro. I hope you're having a good Thursday night. Really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Stephen. But yeah, this is posted by the Ukrainian military here. Okay, they're doing urban fighting here in Vovchansk. Okay. So they're barely holding on, guys. I mean, they're barely holding on. Looks like they have some combat dogs helping out. You see the German Shepherd there helping them out, probably to sniff out booby traps. Or maybe that's a stray, I don't know. Yeah, very serious situation there in Vovchansk. Okay. Got some more fighting over here. Let me see if I can play this for you. Looks like they're fighting in some forest here. Let me just see if I can turn the sound up. You can hear all the rounds being fired. It's just insane. Radio check on 11175. They're doing a radio check. Looks like some Russian prisoners. Interesting. That doesn't look too comfortable, having your eyes duct taped. It's definitely not fun tearing that duct tape off. So this is happening in the Kharkiv Oblast in northern Ukraine. Look, this guy's weighing himself. That's funny. That's funny. Looking at himself in the mirror. That's hilarious. So yeah, this is in Vovchansk, I think, or somewhere in the Kharkiv region. As you see, they're doing urban fighting here, but the Ukrainians are severely outnumbered. If you remember, in the beginning of the war, they were fighting in the same area. They were fighting in Kharkiv. There were actually a lot of Americans that were fighting in Kharkiv. A lot of the famous YouTube channels like CivDiv and some of these other ones were documenting their experiences there. The combat in Kharkiv is a lot different than from the Eastern Front, where the Eastern Front is more like artillery and trenches and stuff, and Kharkiv is more like, sort of like the Vietnam War, because Kharkiv is like a mixture of forests and fields. It's a lot more like small unit tactics. Got some activity here. Got some radio traffic. So, Kharkiv is more like small unit tactics, as you can see. Sorry about the static. Let me just check for some other headlines here. There were some massive tornadoes in Houston. Massive tornadoes. We're hearing as many as 4 people have been confirmed killed by the tornadoes in Houston. Air raid sirens are raging across northern Israel right now. Let me see if I can get some other footage here. Oh, here's the footage of the Germans. The Germans training in Lithuania here. Okay. So this is right on the border of Belarus. They're training literally just a few miles from the border of Belarus. They're doing urban combat training. You can see these mock buildings in the background. What do they look like to you guys? Those buildings look a lot like Soviet apartment blocks. Okay, the old Soviet apartment blocks that are scattered throughout Eastern Europe. Okay, so they're training how to fight in those apartment blocks. Roxanne Murray, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you for always keeping watch and updating us. God bless you, brother. I heard from a good friend, major trouble is planned next month in the East. It's not good. Wow, thank you very much for that intel. Thank you for the donation as well. Thank you so much. So here we have German urban combat training in Lithuania. Okay. I mean, literally just a few miles from the border of Lithuania, Belarus. So, what's going on, Timothy Bibb? How's it going, Timothy Bibb? So this is pretty serious. Lots of training going on. Getting ready for war with Russia. Let me see. We got another video here coming from New Caledonia. This is in the French territory of New Caledonia. Total chaos over there. You can see these are security forces. They look like French security forces, and they formed this little perimeter here. They parked some vehicles in a circle, and they've formed like a little perimeter there. And I guess they're fighting against the, marauders, total lawlessness over there. It's basically a full-blown SHTF situation in New Caledonia. Serena Smith says, lots going on, Greg. Yeah, Serena. Very crazy times that we're living in. Houston is a mess. Storms and straight-line winds tore windows out of skyscrapers. Police are asking people to stay out of Houston. Ilyushin 62 heading towards Venezuela. Very interesting. Oh, that could be why the RC-135 was up in the air over there. Yeah, crazy footage coming out of Houston. Absolutely insane. The tornado tore through like downtown Houston. All the skyscrapers were tore up. We got some crazy footage here. Let me see if I can share this with you guys. Hold on. Let me see if I can share this footage. So this is coming out of Houston. Check this out. This is coming out of Houston when the tornadoes came in. 4 people confirmed killed already by these tornadoes. Wow, you can see all the debris falling down there in the street. Wow, look at the debris. That's insane. Wow. It's just crazy. Wow, a bomber just flew over your house, Tammy? Wow. Thanks for letting me know. That must be the B-1. Blacked out on radar. I'm just south of Rapid City. You know, I was in Rapid City 2 years ago. I went to the Black Hills. Absolutely beautiful. I love South Dakota, especially the Black Hills area. It's really, really beautiful. I actually almost moved there. I was thinking of moving there, but my family is here in the east, so I moved to Pennsylvania instead. But I was debating going to the Black Hills because I really liked it there. But absolutely crazy situation. Yeah, I see the bomber. Looks like the bomber went off the flight tracker. Yeah, let's check the flight tracker real quick and see what's going on. So for those of you guys just tuning in, Russia's going to be doing some missile tests off the coast of California. This is very, very serious and very, very concerning. They're going to be launching missiles into an area right off the coast of California. So we don't know what kind of missiles these are, if they're ballistic missiles, if they're coming from subs, are they coming from land, are they coming from ships? We don't know any of that. All we know is that they're going to be launching missiles into this area off the coast of California, and then they're also going to be launching missiles into an area in Scandinavia, north of Scandinavia, near Svalbard. So this could be why we saw all the nuclear attack options yesterday, all the Skymaster messages, because those missile launches are going to start tonight, or they just started this evening, and they're going to be launching them every evening through the 26th. Ton Up Recycling says a buddy in South Dakota saw 2 fighter jets fly over late last night. He never gets any air traffic where he is. None. Wow, that's pretty concerning. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's concerning. Very, very concerning. Thanks for sharing that. So yeah, 4 people killed in these tornadoes in Houston. Absolutely crazy situation there. Um, so this is very serious, guys. Very serious situation. Um, Let me just check for some other headlines here. So, for those of you guys just tuning in, we have major breaking news. Apparently, the new Russian Black Sea Fleet headquarters in Novorossiysk was targeted by Ukrainian sea and air drones. So that's pretty serious. Very interesting. Putin gave Xi Jinping a hug before he left. Wow. Putin gave Xi Jinping a hug before he went back to Russia. Very interesting. See if I can get that up on the screen for you guys. We do have a massive drone attack that just occurred off the coast of Novorossiysk, the new Russian Black Sea Fleet headquarters. So that's pretty serious. Commie buds for life. That's right. Commie buds for life. Communist pals for life. That's right. That's very true. Very true. Want to give a big thanks to the moderators. You guys are awesome. Sorry I didn't get a chance to thank you guys sooner. But thank you very, very much. The mods are just fantastic here. And all the people that support this channel, thank you guys very, very much. You guys are all awesome. What's going on, PAEMT? How's it going? Good to see you in here. Kinkoi, good to see you, Kinkoi. Samantha Gross says the moderators are awesome here. Yeah, they're really great. A rivet joint is up in the air. Sounds good. Let me check up on that. Let me see. Where's that rivet joint? We still have score 47 there. I'm not worried about score 47. Let's see. This rivet joint that went down to the rivet joint that went down to Venezuela has me very concerned because it took off from Offutt. The rivet joint went all the way down to Venezuela and then came back. Very strange. Let's just see what's going on here. Oh wow, this U.S. Navy drone is now near Israel. Check this out. The one that we were watching earlier. Well, it's now near Israel. And then we also have a Greek Coast Guard plane patrolling Crete. Look at that. That's pretty unusual. It's actually a Greek Coast Guard UAV. And the timing is very interesting because Turkey flew a bunch of planes into the Athens FIR recently. The Athens Flight Information Region, without giving a flight plan. They flew a bunch of planes into close to Greece without providing a flight plan, which kind of freaked out Greece a little bit. But this MQ-4C Triton off the coast of Israel is pretty interesting. Someone said that there was an Ilyushin 62 going to Venezuela. I don't see that anywhere. Got a bunch of strato tankers here in the northwest. We got a rivet joint. Oh, look at this, guys. We have a combat sentry patrolling the North Korean border. Wow. That is not something you see all the time. Look at that. That is absolutely insane. We have a combat sentry patrolling the border of North Korea. Check this out. This is definitely not common. These are special reconnaissance planes for the president and VIPs. Not VIPs. What am I saying? The top generals in the U.S. So these combat sentry planes, they can detect radars and radio signals, and they send their information directly to the president and the Joint Chiefs. And you can see it took off from Okinawa, and it went up right here. And look what it's doing. It's patrolling the border of North Korea, South Korea. Wow, that's pretty serious, guys. And this thing has been flying in this area every night for the last 2 weeks. So something's brewing in North Korea. I don't know what. We also have this rivet joint here patrolling the Taiwan Strait. Check that out. So something's brewing here in Asia. Pretty interesting. A lot of stuff going on in Asia as well. So this is pretty interesting, guys. Pretty interesting. Have both of these up in the air at the same time. It's pretty strange. Something's going on over here. Wow, look at all this reconnaissance going on here in South Korea. Wow. Wow. Very interesting. Paleo Greenbird, good to see you. How's it going? Greg, thanks for always keeping us informed of what the media will never tell us. I have Flight Radar Silver. My filter is set to all military, and sometimes you show flights that I don't see any advice. Yeah, so what I do is I have my own personal filters that I set up with specific planes. So, you have your general military filter, and then I have my own filter that I made specifically for doomsday planes and nuclear war planes. So I put like all the bombers in there, the E4s, the E6s, and some other stuff. I have like my own personal filters, so that's what I would recommend doing. It may take a little bit of time because you have to input them, but once you input them, it makes a huge difference. Like right now, all I have to do is, if let's say I want to check and see if there's doomsday planes or nuclear war planes in the air, all I do is just switch my filter here, doomsday planes, and boom, filters everything out. A lot of these are actually aerial refuelers. I have them as part of my filter, but that's all I have to do, and that cuts out a lot of the stuff that's not relevant. I do have P8 Poseidons in this filter as well. So make some filters for yourself. That's my recommendation, and thanks for the donation. I appreciate that. So yeah, looks like Ukraine pounded the Novorossiysk, which is the new headquarters of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. So that's huge news. Russia has expelled the British military attaché, so that's not a good sign. Means that things are continuing to escalate. Let me just check some other stuff here. We also have major breaking news. I reported this earlier today that a plane from the Russian FSB landed in Belarus, which is very concerning, very unusual. It's the Russian spy agency. The FSB is basically like the KGB, and one of their planes landed in Belarus earlier today, right on the border of Poland. In Grodno. So that's pretty concerning. Norway did some exercises showcasing their ability to rapidly reinforce the Nordic region and Europe. This took place in Norway. Let me see if I can get some footage of that. Wow. So we have military forces of NATO operating in Norway. I can't believe there's still snow over there, guys. Let me see if I can show this to you. There's still snow there. That's just insane. Wow. Let me see if I can pop this up on the screen. So let me see if I can make this bigger. So this is in Norway, guys. Check that out. We have NATO convoys in Norway. And absolutely insane. Wow. Jordan says, Greg makes me have insomnia. Sorry about that. Yeah, I got to start these streams earlier. I'm going to start doing these streams maybe earlier. I don't know. What do you guys think? Probably start them a little earlier. Just so happens that I was busy this evening. I had to cut the grass, and my grass was really getting too tall. And, you know, it just gets impossible to mow once it gets that big. So I had to cut it before it got too tall to cut. And then I'd really be killing myself trying to cut it. And then I had the podcast with Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. That's going to go on his Patreon. I'm going to be doing some more stuff with Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival soon. I'm going to bring back Dark Winter for those of you guys who are not familiar with Dark Winter. Dark Winter is a fictional nuclear war survival series that I made here on YouTube. You can actually check it out. It's totally free. It's a fictional nuclear war survival short series. I'm going to continue with that probably after Memorial Day. I'm going to start filming more episodes. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about that, so that's going to be returning. Jordan says, I don't mind the insomnia while watching this. Homesteading DIY says, I'm just glad you do the live and updates. No problem. Deidre Fat, good to see you, Deidre Fat. You do a lot in keeping us updated. You're a busy man. Yeah, it is very time consuming doing all of this, but it's worth it. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, so I got to keep everyone informed as much as I can. Aldo says Dark Winter was my favorite. Yeah, I have some interesting plot twists in Dark Winter. I think you're going to love it. I have some really cool ideas for Dark Winter, and the budget for Dark Winter is a little bit bigger this year, so hopefully that'll make for some more interesting episodes. Russia is playing games, only provoking the U.S., cocky as they are. Yeah, I need a brush hog. Yeah, that's true. I need a more powerful mower. Need a more powerful mower. You should try the Fallout game. I've never played the Fallout game. I have played Metro 2033 or whatever. That's a really good one. So you can see the forces building up, NATO forces building up. We're hearing that Russia's elite troops assaulted a hospital in the center of Vovchansk. It's pretty interesting. So looks like Russia is taking control of this the main hospital, I guess, in Vovchansk. So yeah, Vovchansk is probably under Russian control by now. Even though the Ukrainians are saying that the situation is stabilized, I really don't believe that. That's just, BS to try to quell the panic. Deidre Fat says, we appreciate you, Greg. Love your Dark Winter series. I'm glad you love Dark Winter. Yeah, I have a lot of cool things planned for Dark Winter. I think you guys are going to like it. There's going to be some interesting twists and turns in Dark Winter. So Bambi says you can see some members of NATO becoming more and more willing to enter the war now and not wait any longer. Yeah, we already have Estonia saying that they're willing to send forces into Ukraine. We have, their parliament already approved it. And then we have Lithuania saying they're going to send forces. We have France preparing to send forces. If you missed my update earlier about Belarus, I'm just going to quickly recap because I think that's important. There's some major activity going on in Belarus now. So the Belarusian railways are preparing to receive military cargo trains with military equipment, ammunition, and personnel of the Russian armed forces. And an Antonov 148 of the Russian Special Flight Squadron operated for the Russian FSB landed at the Grodno airport in Belarus, which is right on the border of Poland. According to inside information, Vladimir Kushilov, the first deputy director of the Russian FSB and the head of the FSB border service, is on board. Kuleshov will take part in a meeting of the board of the border committee of the Union State of Belarus and Russia and hold a meeting with the Grodno region governor. So that's happening right on the border of Poland, okay? An FSB deputy director and some kind of head of the FSB border service going to this town on the border of Poland. And Grodno is a former Polish city. Poland lost it after World War II when Stalin took the eastern part of Poland. Present-day Western Belarus used to be part of Poland. Stalin took it because he wanted more of a buffer. So Grodno is a Polish city, and there's lots of Polish people there. So Belarus has always been concerned that Poland could try to take it back, which Poland would never do by military force. Unless there was some kind of a collapse in Belarus, then they maybe would do that. Yesterday, 2 Sukhoi 30 SM fighter jets of the Russian Air Force arrived in Baranovichi Airfield in Belarus from Russia. Between May 21st and May 30th, 2 delegations of representatives of the main intelligence directorate of the General Staff of the Belarusian Armed Forces will visit Lida and Grodno, forward operating bases on the borders of Poland and Lithuania. We had the 19th Mechanized Brigade of the Belarusian Armed Forces getting rotated out by the 120th Mechanized Brigade deployed on the border of Lithuania. So lots of serious stuff going on, and there's going to be in Moldova a referendum on Moldova's accession to the EU in October, on October 20th. So look for something to happen in Moldova before Moldova votes to join the EU. Okay? Russia definitely doesn't want Moldova to join the EU. Some kind of NOTAM near a nuke base. Where's this NOTAM for? I don't know what all those numbers are. My allergies are killing me because it's it's hay season right now. The hay is growing like crazy, and I'm surrounded by hay fields, and the hay is like mature now, and all the pollen and stuff is out. Drone swarm testing, Missouri. When is the meeting in Switzerland? You mean the Ukrainian Peace Summit? I'm not sure. It's a good question. They're going to have some kind of Ukrainian Peace Summit in Switzerland. We'll see what happens with that. If there is a peace summit, I would say that I would be very skeptical. I would be very skeptical of that. Very interesting. I think now I know why the MQ-4C Triton has been flying off the coast of Libya. There's some kind of a NOTAM off the coast of Libya here. Interesting. NOTAM A0906/24. What is that? It's interesting. Oh, wow. We got breaking news. Breaking news coming in right now. Massive Ukrainian drone attack this morning on some refineries in the Tuapse region of Russia. Wow. Absolutely insane. This is just breaking right now. Let me see if I can blow this up. Wow. This is crazy, guys. So in addition to striking the base in Novorossiysk, they've now hit some kind of refineries over there in Novorossiysk. Let me see if I can share the footage with you. Stand by. One moment here. Try to get this footage. Massive drone attacks on Tuapse and Novorossiysk refineries being hit. Let me see if I can get some of this footage up. Wow, this is absolutely insane, guys. This is crazy. Got some crazy footage here coming in from the Black Sea region. This is absolutely insane. Wow. Absolutely crazy. Wow, this is crazy, guys. Let me share this with you. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let's see.
Еще один. Ебать.
Wow. You can see the drone right there coming down and landing. Check that out, guys. Wow. Look, that whole refinery is on fire, guys. The whole thing is on fire. Wow. Here's another look at that refinery burning. So that's just absolutely insane. Can you imagine these drones flying into our airspace? It would be difficult for someone to do that because we have so much sea around us. But it could be possible eventually. they make these drones like really long range, they maybe if they used some like exotic propulsion systems that allow the drone to travel extreme distances. We already have F-16s that are piloted by AI. I mean, they were doing testing with an AI piloted F-16, and it was flying with some F-16s piloted by experienced pilots with 2,000 to 3,000 hours of flight experience, and the AI piloted F-16 actually was able to beat the experienced F-16 pilots. So this is like a real life Terminator scenario that's playing out. I mean, could you imagine like hundreds of F-16s piloted by AI, and imagine the AI suddenly tweaks and decides that people are the enemy, and then they just start attacking us with F-16s, and they start flying and bombing our cities and stuff, our own F-16s. That could happen, guys. That could easily happen. Easily. Okay? And our military-industrial complex is stupid enough that they will actually implement AI in our nuclear forces. That's what they're trying to do with the B-21 Raider. They're going to be implementing AI on the B-21 Raider so it can fly autonomously and make its own decisions with no pilot and no command and control. If, let's say, our command and control gets wiped out in a nuclear war, these B-21s can still fly on their own to various targets, make their own decisions, drop bombs wherever they want. I mean, it sounds good on paper, like, wow, that's revolutionary, but that's how Terminator started, okay? The movie Terminator. I grew up watching Terminator. I'm a 90s kid. And Terminator was like one of the big movies in the 90s and the 80s. And that's how Terminator starts. There's an AI. The military puts AI in control of strategic forces. And the AI tweaks, and whatever happens with the AI, and it decides that people are the enemy, and it launches nukes at Russia to start a nuclear war. And then it starts attacking people and sets out on a mission to exterminate humanity from Earth. I mean, that could happen, guys. It could, Skynet 2.0, exactly. It's human beings trying to play God is what it is. Human beings trying to play God, just like cloning. So crazy footage here coming out of Ukraine. Well, the AI-piloted craft would be able to pull maneuvers manned aircraft just can't do because of the G-forces. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. You have G-forces. You have pilot fatigue. Okay, pilots get fatigued. They get tired. And they need rest. They need to land and stuff. And with an AI-piloted aircraft, you don't have any of that to worry about. And then once they can pilot, think about it. If they have F-16s, that can literally dogfight as good or better than an experienced F-16 pilot now. It's just a matter of time before they think, oh, wow, if we can do that, why don't we put the AI in charge of our nuclear forces? And AI is going to run our nuclear forces. We no longer need people that are sitting in the silos to turn the keys to launch the missiles. AI is going to do everything. As soon as the missile is detected by the satellites, the AI is going to immediately launch the missiles. We don't have to do anything. There's no human involvement, because human involvement can cause problems, especially in a nuclear war. There's a chance that some of the missileers may decide not to launch for whatever reason, if they get cold feet and they don't want to turn the key because they feel like they're going to be responsible for the death of millions of people. So they get cold feet and they decide not to launch. With AI, there's none of that. The AI will just auto launch everything as soon as it detects the missiles coming. That's what they're going to try to do. I'm telling you guys, that's exactly what happens in Terminator. Yeah, this is not a single drone attack. As you can see, the whole refinery here is on fire. This is not a single drone attack. I don't know why you would say that this is a single drone. There was probably dozens of drones here. It's just this is one video clip. You can see the entire refinery is on fire. So regretful Sigma says BR Greg Connor. That's funny. That's funny. Terminator equals tribulation. Yeah. Laura Miller says Greg just got in from the woods. Was happy to see you on here. Glad I caught you before you signed off. I'll rewind the stream and catch up later. Thanks for always keeping us in the know. Yeah, no problem. Michelle Evans. Oh, that was a cool pictures of the bear, by the way, Laura. Cool pictures of the bear. Did you see any more bears? Michelle Evans says, Greg, which country in your opinion would be safest to live in if World War III kicks off? Yeah, I've talked about this before a couple of times, but honestly, the safest place in the world where it's not just safe, but there's actually resources. I mean, the safest place would be like Antarctica. Okay, nobody's going to launch nukes at Antarctica. So theoretically, Antarctica is a safe place, or, even Africa is not a bad place to be. But those areas have extreme climates, and like Africa, honestly, Africa wouldn't be a bad place if you're in kind of like a secluded part of Africa where, like not in the Congo, but like if you're in like, like Tanzania or Mozambique or Botswana, those areas there, they actually have a pretty decent climate, those areas, especially like outside of the summer, like in fall, winter, spring, the climate is tolerable and there's actually water and moisture. It is dry in the summer, but those places like parts of South Africa, but there would be a lot of unrest in those areas too. There's already a lot of unrest and stuff there, but like, Botswana or places like that are an option simply because of the isolation. If you could find like a small village there and build like a bunker there, you'd have tons of game all around you for food. You have Cape buffalo herds and herds of wildebeest. I mean, there'd be tons of food there, and nobody's going to strike Africa with nukes. But really, the best practical place would be more like Paraguay and Uruguay and parts of Argentina that are neighboring. Let me see. Is it Uruguay? Hold on. Let me see. Let me just reacquaint myself with the map here. It's been a while since I looked at that area, but hold on. Did I say Uruguay? No, Paraguay. Yeah, Paraguay and parts of Argentina, bordering Paraguay. Uruguay is not bad, but it's on the coast and it's close to Buenos Aires, so you're going to have a lot of people in Buenos Aires that could flood into Uruguay, but really Paraguay is going to be your best bet in the whole world. And the reason why is you have isolation. If you look where Paraguay is on the map, it's like in the middle of South America. You have a lot of wilderness all around, not a lot of roads to access it. And It's very cheap there, to live, and you can build bunkers there and cabins and all kinds of stuff. That's why the Nazis were looking at Argentina as a shelter site. They were going to relocate the Third Reich to Argentina because parts of Argentina are extremely isolated. Let me see if I can show you guys on Google Earth. 1 second here. Hold on. See if I can make this smaller. Let's just look at the map real quick. So yeah, Paraguay theoretically on paper is one of the best areas to be. So here's South America, and here's Paraguay, here's Argentina. Now, so if you see Paraguay, it's just completely surrounded by, you have the Andes Mountains to your west. The Andes Mountains are huge, thousands of feet high, 20,000 feet high. You have Andes Mountains to your west, which forms a border, a natural border or barrier from Chile and Peru and all these populated areas here. And then you just have tons of rural isolation in Paraguay. To the north, you have the Amazon, so nobody's coming down from the north. Here in Brazil, I mean, you don't have any big cities nearby Paraguay. So yeah, I would probably pick Paraguay or neighboring areas of Argentina, like northern Argentina here. Okay, I mean, look, there's nobody here, guys. Look at how isolated it is here. And there's good growing seasons here. The climate is very moderate. It's not like tropical. It's not too dry, not too tropical. It gets kind of cool in the winter. Lots of rural isolation here. I mean, let's just do some street view here and just see what it looks like here in this area. I mean, it's just very isolated. Look at this. This is northern Argentina. It's actually very beautiful here. Look at this. It kind of reminds me of Texas. So that would be my pick, would be like northern Argentina, Paraguay. Nobody's nuking this area. As you can see, it's green. It's got a good moderate climate. Lots of rural isolation. So it's pretty cool. It's a good little area. So hopefully that helps you out. So yeah, that would be my pick. And aside from that, honestly, Africa, it sounds crazy. I mean, you do have malaria in a lot of places in Africa, but nobody's going to nuke Africa, and there's not a lot of people there. Like certain areas of Africa, they don't have malaria. Like, for example, the northern part of South Africa, they actually don't have malaria there. And even like neighboring areas of Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. I mean, it sounds crazy. I mean, there's a lot of lions and all kinds of natural hazards here, but that could be your friend especially if you're comfortable in that kind of terrain and you know the area, you know what the hazards are, and you have a good bunker. This could be a great area because you have all these natural hazards here. Nobody's going to come for you. But again, that's kind of more fantasy than reality, I would say. So Redneck Prepper, good to see you. Thanks for gifting 10 memberships. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. Mongolia. Someone said Mongolia. Is Putin still in China? I think he's on the way out of China. The B-1 is still in the air northeast of Gillette. I've been to Gillette before. It's a very barren area there in Gillette. It's a high desert or high plains. Very, very extreme climate over there in Gillette. It's interesting that the B-1 is still in the air. Interesting. Still have this RC-135 here looping south of the Taiwan Strait. And the Combat Sentinel went off of the flight tracker now. Oh yeah, I see the B-1 there. Yeah, it's still airborne. Check this out. We have this U.S. Navy drone here near Lebanon and Syria. It's pretty interesting. Wow. Thank you, Redneck Prepper, for sharing the My Patriot supply. I appreciate it. Charmaine says, hi all from a cold South Africa. Love your show, NYPrepper. Oh, wow. South Africa, huh? We were just talking about South Africa. Yeah, I want to go to South Africa. I was planning maybe next year to go there. Want to go there. Or in Africa. I want to do a safari. I want to do a safari in Africa. They've been testing near New Smyrna. So yeah, Paraguay, great spot. Other great spots. Honestly, I would recommend like Siberia, but the problem is Russia's going to nuke, or the U.S. is going to nuke Siberia. There's a lot of missile fields and Russian nuclear forces bases here in Siberia, especially southern Siberia. There's one in Irkutsk. There's some also near Krasnoyarsk, Novosibirsk, the Altai Mountains. There's a bunch of locations here. So unless you're like in, the upper part of the Siberian plateau, there's going to be a lot of fallout here. So yeah, Siberia is another option for you. It's just extremely cold, so if you don't like the cold, it's not good for you. I mean, it's extremely cold in Siberia. It's the coldest place in the northern hemisphere. It's colder than Alaska. Siberia gets down to like minus 70 Fahrenheit in winter low temperatures in January, in the depths of winter. Let's see, what other areas would be good? Another reason why South America is good is there's, you do have like earthquakes in Chile, but like this part of South America, you don't have a lot of earthquakes or volcanic activity. Like Western South America, you have volcanoes. Like parts of Africa, for example, is another good option simply because you don't have a lot of seismic activity. Aside from like some diseases here, and certain areas of Africa, you don't have a lot of those diseases depending on where you go. If you go like closer to the Congo, there's more of those malaria and all that stuff. You know, I don't recommend Indonesia. Indonesia, you have too many volcanic activity and too many volcanoes and a lot of instability there in Indonesia. Let me just check and see if we have any new news here. Checking for new news. Yeah, massive kabooms in Novorossiysk. Massive kabooms in Novorossiysk. Just checking to see if there's any updates here. Stand by. Checking to see if we have any updates. So this is very serious, guys. Russia is going to be doing missile tests off the coast of California. Very serious, guys. Okay, I don't know what they're testing. There's no information on, what kind of missiles or anything like that, but they could be using like submarine launched ballistic missiles, and they could be lobbing them into that area off of California. I mean, that's crazy, guys. Wow, we have the president of Brazil, the communist president of Brazil, Lula da Silva, will not attend the Ukrainian peace conference in Switzerland. Wow, interesting. Wow. Wow. Last night, Russian air defenses destroyed 51 Ukrainian drones over Crimea and 44 over the Krasnodar Oblast, 6 over Belgorod, and 1 over Kursk, according to the Russian Ministry of Defense. In addition, apparently 6 Ukrainian naval drones were destroyed as well. I personally don't believe that, but that's what the Russians are saying, that they destroyed, looks like 100 drones that were going towards Krasnodar and Novorossiysk area. It doesn't sound realistic. What languages are you all learning for the big move? Me, I'm learning Russian and Chinese. Interesting. Interesting. Texas has 900,000 people without power. That's insane. Wow, that's crazy. Imagine one wrong missile or one missile goes wrong. Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, Russia is the king of propaganda. That's right. They are. They are the king of propaganda. Yeah, I don't believe them either. Yeah, I mean, all those missiles flying right off the coast of California. I mean, that's like a huge provocation. That's crazy. Huge provocation. Reuters is reporting that NATO fighter jets are increasingly being scrambled to intercept Russian planes approaching Allied airspace in the Baltic Sea region. Wow. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. Wow, we have this fuel depot that caught fire in Novorossiysk. Wow. This is insane. This was actually overnight. Let me see if I can share that with you guys. Hold on 1 second here. See if I can share that. Wow, this is crazy. So this is a Russian fuel depot that got hit by Ukrainian drones. Wow.
Только что взорвался. Взорвали одну дорогу. Сейчас еще там дроны летают. Жужжат. Не знаю, что будет дальше. Это станция Новороссийск. Железнодорожная станция. Тут бочки. Только что взорвался. Взорвали одну дроном. Сейчас еще там дроны летают. Жужжат. Не знаю, что будет дальше. Это станция Новороссийск. Железнодорожная станция. Тут бой.
So, pretty insane. Pretty insane. This is in Novorossiysk. Wow, this RQ-4 is really looping here off of Syria. Check that out. Wow. Fatima is not in Spain, it's in Portugal. Yes, that's correct. I made a mistake. Yeah, the Fatima prophecy was in Portugal, not in Spain. That's correct. That's very true. Any news on the Prime Minister? No updates on the Prime Minister. No updates on the Prime Minister. They said it would take a couple of days for him to recover. He's in a medically induced coma right now, so So yeah, the Ukrainians targeted a Rosneft oil storage facility in Tuapse. So pretty serious. Stand by. I'm just going to check some news sources here. See what else is going on tonight. There was a woman wielding a knife in London. Police arrested a woman after she was filmed waving a large knife at passers-by in the Jewish neighborhood of Stamford Hill, London. Wow. That's insane. Wow. That's just totally insane. Tiffany says Biden is half asleep eating ice cream somewhere. Yeah, probably. You're right. Macallie Dawn says, Greg, you are loved by the Father. Keep at it. Thank you, Macallie. I appreciate that. Okay, Redneck Prepper, sounds good. Russia has more nukes than we do. It's very possible. Because of the Democrats and the nuclear disarmament movement here in the U.S., they've been trying to disarm our nukes for the last 20 years or so. Obama succeeded in removing 2/3 of our nukes from our Minuteman missiles. They each had 3 warheads on each missile. We're now down to only 1 warhead per missile. So Obama succeeded in removing 800 warheads from our arsenal deployed. He also succeeded in removing a lot of our B-52s from service that had the air-launched nuclear-tipped cruise missiles. He also succeeded in removing a lot of our Trident missiles. We removed 4 Trident missiles from every one of our Ohio-class subs. So, the nuclear disarmament movement is really dangerous, and they want us to disarm ourselves, and then once we do that, Russia will attack us. So, it's just really stupid. And then under Bill Clinton, under President Bill Clinton, we had an executive order to no longer launch on warning, which is just absolutely insane. launch on warning is exactly what you need. If you want to have a credible nuclear deterrent, you need to have launch on warning. And Bill Clinton signed an executive order basically stating that we would absorb a first strike. We would absorb it, which is just crazy. It's just totally insane. Because we wouldn't survive the first strike, because the first strike is going to go after all our nuclear weapons. They're going to try to neutralize them, so we won't even survive the first strike. So it's just totally stupid. And Obama carried that executive order over. We don't know if Biden did that, but check this out, guys. We have another UK Apache in, actually looks like two of them. Yeah, we have these Apache helicopters again in Estonia. It's pretty strange. So check that out. Two Apaches again going down into Estonia. Last night we had just a crazy amount of reconnaissance over the Baltics and Poland again. Sub Hunter has gone off of radar. Where's that Sub Hunter? Which one are you referring to, Aldo? What's going on, Rip Curl? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So things are really getting crazy, guys. Wow, Manny C, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Or it's actually Friday already, guys. It's TGIF Friday. Hope you guys have some fun things planned for the weekend. I got some new tires for my truck that I have to go and install at the tire shop tomorrow. Can't wait to do that. I'm going to film a lot of the upgrades I make to my truck. Going to the 4x4 shop next week to have some lighting installed on it. Can't wait. Yeah, good to see you, Rip Curl. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, the Peacekeeper ICBMs were removed from service because of the stupid disarmament. They were trying to disarm us, and they said, oh, we should remove the Peacekeepers, which was a stupid idea. We only had 50 Peacekeepers. I mean, they weren't like super critical. I mean, we do have weapons now that are actually better than the Peacekeeper. I mean, even our Trident missiles are extremely powerful. The Trident missiles, I mean, they can carry over 10 warheads that each have a yield of half a megaton, basically. So, I mean, the peacekeepers were definitely a loss, but the bigger loss was under Obama, when Obama removed 2 out of the 3 warheads on each of our Minuteman missiles. You know, they have the W-87 or the W-78, which are 300 or 335 kilotons, and Obama removed 2 out of the 3 on each of our Minuteman missiles. So that was a huge blow to our nuclear deterrent. So I hope that Biden has been rearming them, but I doubt it. And I hope that whoever's the next president rearms all of them. And then we need to put our Trident missiles fully back on our subs, because we removed 4 Trident missiles from each of our Ohio-class subs. So we got to bring those back on as well. So... oh, good to see you, Rip Crow. Yeah, that was with Kentucky Patriot. Yeah, Kentucky Patriot, not Kentucky Ballistics. But yeah, Kentucky Patriot knows Kentucky Ballistics. They used to be friends. But yeah, I have a bunch of videos with Kentucky Patriot I'm going to be posting soon. So look out for that. I have a bunch of firearms content that I have to post. I'm going to post a bunch this weekend, and I still have a bunch that I haven't even edited yet. I haven't had a chance to even edit all the firearms videos. I probably have like 50 plus ballistics tests that I haven't had a chance to edit yet. So if you like my gun videos, I'm going to have a bunch of them. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to be posting a bunch. RTK says, I believe Jesus will get us before next year. That would be nice. Are My Patriot supplies delivered to Canada? I think so. That's a great question. I mean, you can put your address in and see if they deliver it there. They probably should. Anything to get this madness off our minds. Do we still use Hellfire missiles on the Blackhawks? I believe so. Yeah, we should still be using Hellfire missiles are used on the Blackhawks, and then also on the Apaches too. Yeah, they still use those. It's tough to be a YouTuber and time spent. Yeah, it was Kentucky Patriot, yeah. I did meet Kentucky Ballistics in person when I went to NRA convention last year. I met him in person. I got a picture with him. But yeah, Kentucky Patriot used to be friends with Kentucky Ballistics. I don't know how close they are now, but when Scott was first starting his channel, he did a bunch of videos with Kentucky Patriot together. They were like really good friends. But Kentucky Patriot is a great guy. He's a good friend of mine. Check him out if you haven't seen him before. The Kentucky Patriot on YouTube. I just went to Kentucky last weekend, and we filmed a ton of videos together. So Yeah, no problem, Rising Dragon. Just checking for some different news here now. Checking to see if there's any updates. Stand by. We're hearing that 2 Russian MiG-31 bombers and hypersonic missiles were destroyed in the strike on Crimea. Wow. That was yesterday when Ukraine struck the air base in Crimea. Looks like they destroyed 2 Russian MiG-31s. Wow. So Ukraine getting some serious licks in. They destroyed the MiG-31 bombers in Belbek in Crimea, and then tonight they hit the fuel depot and the Novorossiysk, the new Black Sea Fleet headquarters for Russia. So some pretty serious strikes. Redneck Prepper says, looks like you got the old crew back. Yeah, the old crew is still here, yeah. Wow, pretty interesting news there. Oh, I forgot to mention yesterday in Ukraine there was that big holiday, Vyshyvanka. Vyshyvanka Day was in Ukraine yesterday. I forgot about that. That's like the holiday in Ukraine where they dress up in traditional clothing. That was yesterday. Wow, the government of Serbia has approved a contract with Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner for the construction of a luxury hotel worth $500 million on the site of the former general staff in Belgrade. Wow, that's really interesting. Jared Kushner, a lot of people believe that he was going to be the Antichrist because Jared Kushner is Jewish, and he had that building in New York City that was, I forget, was it Park Avenue or the address was 666. The address was 666 on the Jared Kushner Tower in Manhattan. I think they sold that building, or maybe I know he bought it. He was renting it for a while, and then he bought the whole building, and the address was 666. So a lot of people thought that Jared Kushner was going to be the Antichrist. The Foreign Affairs Committee of the U.S. House of Representatives has approved draft bills regarding new sanctions against the Russian energy company Rosatom. Interesting. They're going to put sanctions on Russia's oil and gas company. Interesting. The Dow Jones Industrial Average here in the U.S. hit an all-time high yesterday, 40,000 points, which is just ridiculous. How could the stock market reach an all-time high with everything going on? It just doesn't make any sense. You know, they have the plunge protection team The plunge protection team is like a bunch of big financial companies in the U.S. that prop up the stock market. So, wow. Israel's finance minister announced a 100% tariff on all imports from Turkey. So, relations between Turkey and Israel are deteriorating. Wow. Just absolutely insane. 4 people are dead in the Houston storms. "63% of Americans surveyed believe the government should impose regulation to prevent artificial intelligence from becoming more capable than humans and reaching super intelligence." Wow. See where this is going, guys? I mean, we're heading towards a real life Terminator scenario. You know, this AI, it's just absolutely insane. They can fly F-16s now with AI better than experienced pilots. It's just crazy. So, you know, one thing we have to start preparing for is an AI apocalypse, like a real life Terminator. That's one thing that we gotta prepare for. I mean, that could easily happen, you know. So we got these Apaches here in Estonia. Very interesting. Looks like we got this aerial refueler heading for Poland right now. There's the B-1 here. Looks like it disappeared from the flight tracker. It's pretty unusual to see these this late at night. Pretty unusual. And look at this recon drone here. Wow. Just doing really heavy reconnaissance here near Syria. Wow. Just flying like crazy off the coast of Syria. Let's see, looks like we have some Russian Special Flight Squadron planes up in the air. It's pretty interesting. I wonder where they're going. But yeah, we have this U.S. Air Force aerial refueler heading to Poland right now. They've been doing some really heavy reconnaissance in Poland. Get all this aerial refueler activity off the coast of Florida. This was last night. It's just insane. Yeah, we got these Apaches here in Estonia. Wonder where they're gonna go. They're flying very low. Look at that. Over this area here. Look at that. That's interesting. Just going to check and see if there's any new news here. Israel's probably going to start their Rafah operation soon. So sorry guys, I'm just checking for news here. Yemeni Houthis are claiming that they shot down an American drone, an MQ-9. That's pretty interesting. I think they shot one down before, if I recall. They shared a picture of the drone that they shot down. Flight code STLK2. Look it up. What is that, Aldo? What kind of plane? Wow, these Apaches are heading towards the Russian border now. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, these helicopters are heading for the Russian border. Very interesting. Apaches. Interesting. Shows up as invalid. Maybe it's a drone. Yeah, it could be a drone. That's a possibility. Thank you, Manny C, for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I hope you're having a great night. I live in California and I can't believe Russia is shooting missiles starting today. Yeah, it's totally insane, Ashley. Yeah, absolutely insane. It's going to be for the next 10 days. Jay Gabalos says, anyone else considering taking shelter in a cave system once the nukes start flying? Yeah, caves are great. Caves are an excellent place to go during nuclear war. Caves are excellent. I highly recommend caves. And if you have old mines in your area, like as long as the mine is safe, you can go into those mines. Like, for example, in the western states, you have a lot of like old uranium mines in Nevada and stuff like that. Those old mines are still, pretty solid. You can go into those old mines. Here in Appalachia, there's a lot of old coal mines and stuff here. Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee, lots of like coal mines and stuff. There's also a lot of like old tunnels and stuff. So yeah, make sure there's no bears in them. Yeah, that's a good point. Manny C says, Greg, you are the bomb. No, rather call you the kaboom. You are awesome, buddy. Oh, thank you, Manny. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Thank you so much for the donation, Manny. Oh yeah, I see that drone. Yeah, it looks like maybe it's patrolling the border of Mexico. Yeah, I see that. Some kind of military drone. Yeah. Not too concerned about it. But that's very interesting. Wow, we have some weird animals out here. Let me see if you guys can hear that. Hold on. Let me see. Listen closely. You might hear this weird animal outside. Yeah, it sounds like a fox. It sounds like a fox. I've just never heard foxes make this kind of noise before. I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but it's like sounds like a fox or maybe a coyote or something. Rabbit in distress or fox, yeah, one of those two. Be careful of the Wendigos. Yeah, Wendigos are scary. Wendigos are scary, or the Dogman. Yeah, there's some really, really deep woods in here in Pennsylvania, where when I go off-roading at night, it's like some of these places are like places you do not want to, get a flat tire or get stuck or something. Some of these forests are so dark and so isolated, just super creepy at night. Even though I'm armed and I'm a big guy and all that, I can fight if I have to fight, but yeah, I could bench press a Bigfoot. That's funny. Yeah, here, hold on. It's still making noise. Oh, it suddenly stopped now. It's not making the noises anymore. So I don't know. I'm probably going to wind down the stream shortly. It's getting very late, so I'll probably wind down the stream. I have to get some rest. Timothy says it's big feet unless it's just one. Yeah, that's true. Big feet. What's going on, Amy Mrachkowski? Good night, Amy. Good to see you. Israel has desert foxes. Sounds good, Kinkoi. Thanks for staying up all night. I appreciate it. Samantha Gross, thank you for watching. Baby fox calling for mama. Yeah, it could be the baby fox. Good night, Gibbs Brothers Paranormal. Redneck Prepper, good night. No problem, Roxanne. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Jeff Stalker, have a good night. Aldo Schmedak, Thomas Jones, have a good night. From Tennessee. Wow, Tennessee. Nice place. Yeah, that fox is still making noise outside. Good night, Rocket Man. Christopher James, good night. Lena Graham says, I just woke up and missed everything. Oh, I'm sorry, Lena. Good to see you, though. I'm going to recap everything in the update when I get up tomorrow. I'll do a recap. RC says, good morning from Scotland. Good night, Stacy Michaels, Karen. Manny C. Aldo Schmedak did a great job. Yes, Aldo Schmedak. He's one of the best moderators out there. Thank you, KJF. Thank you very much, KJF. Yeah, East Tennessee is a very nice place. Yeah, East Tennessee near the mountains. Very nice. I have family that lives there, so I've been there many times. Lori's Thrifty Kitchen Pantry. Good night. Good to see you. VIP Advocate. Have a good night. Good night, David from upstate New York. So I might go live again tomorrow night. We'll see. It's Friday night, so unless something crazy happens, I may just do a video. I'm not sure. I may decide to take the night off. I don't know. Good night from Bogota, Colombia. Wow, that's really cool. Bogota, Colombia. Wow, people watch me from all over. Fred NYC, good to see you, Fred NYC. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll be back tomorrow with more breaking news updates. So have a good night, and take care. God bless, and don't forget the 3 P's: prepare, practice, and persevere. Culinary out.